Welcome, fellas, to the Captain Saver Bro Show, episode 16. Lessons the game taught me the hard way. You better learn these lessons because you don't want them to teach you the hard way. And if you know, you know. But anyway, I'm your gracious game advisor, yours truly, King Dre. We're gonna get right into it. First and foremost, though, this show is available via Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, YouTube, all the platforms. Type in YouTube, the Captain Saver Bro Show, or that's if you want to watch the video format, watch it on your TV or whatever, or you want to listen to it while you're driving, on the road, doing your workout. Go on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, iHeart, and all that, and type in the Captain Saver Bro Show. This show is also brought to you by the SaverBroAcademy.com, SaverBroAcademy.com. Houses all your course needs, free confidence course, how to vet women properly, building yourself into a high-value man, attraction 101. All of these courses will change your life and take your game to the next level. So go to SaverBroAcademy.com. Also join the Patreon, patreon.com/KingDreism. Jump on the exclusive video tier at $5 a month. $5 a month, you can get exclusive videos of me. A few times a week, we drop videos teaching you the game breakdown videos and stuff like that. You can also join the $100 tier where you'll get 2 video coaching calls with me per month. Very, very valuable. So jump on the $100 tier or the Patreon if you need private coaching in a group setting. Also, follow me on all social media, King Dreism. I was about to say .com, but King Dreism, KingDreism. That's IG, TikTok, and Twitter. Let's get into the game, though. Now, let's get straight into the game, man. These are the lessons that I learned in the game the hard way. Of course, there's many, many more, but these are some of the most important. And fellas, if you haven't learned these the hard way yet, pay attention, because this don't feel good when you learn it. When the game teach you, it don't feel good. If you rather I teach you or a mentor teach you than the game teach you, because when the game teach you, oh, you're going to have to pay. It comes with some blood, not necessarily blood, but, blood, sweat, and tears, meaning feelings, emotions, wasted energy, the whole nine. You know what I'm saying? Crushed ego, broken heart. A lot of trauma comes with the game teaching you. You know what I'm saying? Like as they say, a hard head make a soft ass. A hard head make a soft heart for a simp. You dig what I'm saying? But, yeah, these are the lessons that the game taught me the hard way, right? The first lesson, right? First things first. The first lesson that I learned, it's not the first lesson that I learned, but one of the most important lessons that I learned the hard way is, shout out to my man Rated R from Tampa, these hoes be fucking. Say that with me again, fellas. These hoes be fucking. What does that mean? That means women are just as sexual as you, and they are going to explore that. I don't in a society, Western society, not even Western societies, but any society that's developed, any society that's developed, whether you in whatever country you're in, whatever, if you're in a city where it's a bunch of people and there's commerce and there's motion, so to speak, there are going to be women that's exercising their sexuality. Now, when it comes to, I don't know about in other cultures as far as like them promoting women being sexually liberated, but in Western cultures, United States, Canada, UK, and all of this, Europe and a lot of countries in Europe, they promote women being sexually free. Right. And so women are going to explore their options. Now, my man Rated R is a rapper from Tampa. Shout out to Rated R. Came out with a song in 2003. Right. A rapper from Tampa. Shout out to Tampa. That's my hometown. Came out with a song called These Hoes Be Fucking. Right. I ain't even supposed to be in here tonight, but all these thick ass hoes here tonight. He's in the back drinking yikes, smoking sykes, but these hoes fucking. What? Fucking. Look, me and my producer about to go crazy over that, but that was the jam back in the days, right? But basically the song was about letting dudes know, don't trip, because they doing what they gonna do. They doing what they gonna do. And I learned that the hard way. when I was growing up, I was thinking that, you know, you had your ones that wasn't and you had your ones that were. And so we sought out to make our girls the ones who weren't, right? But what we didn't understand was it wasn't that they wasn't, it's just that they was quiet about it, right? Now, I'm not saying they was letting the whole basketball team run a train or, you know, they was super, super loose with it, but women, especially young women, are going to go through that thing, right? And so, again, we would try to, my thing when I was younger was, this the good girl. And I get on that good girl thing in a minute, but this the good one. She ain't like that, so I'm going to wife her, right? But not knowing she is like that. She just not sloppy about it. She just not messy about it like some other chicks are. Or she may not be extreme with it. She may not be having one night stands or, you know, going to the club, popping around. But if she meet what she like, that do something to her or that click with her, she gonna go just as much as everybody else gonna go, especially younger women. Now, women grow out of this. Generally, women grow out of this after they hit 25, 26, 27, right? But, and again, this is not every single woman. So don't be like, oh, well, my sister or my girl. And okay, if you got a girl that was, you know, locked in a basement and went to church every day, cool. Majority of women ain't like that, right? But anyway, so back, we would try to find these types of women. And what I learned was they all fucking, and they all fuck for somebody, right? They all fuck for somebody. You dig what I'm saying? And because you're not the best person that they can date. And I'm not trying to say this hypergamy and this monkey branching thing, but typically younger women want to explore first. They want to go through their phase first before they get locked down, especially in American culture, right? And so, you know, they gonna do their thing, right? So I remember, right, and another thing I learned with this situation is wherever you meet her, that's probably who she is, right? So we're gonna tie that into this. I remember that I met this chick. This chick was probably one of the first women that I dated outside of a school setting. Cause I had just got my diploma. I didn't get my diploma from high school like regular. I got my diploma from Job Corps. So I was just coming back from Job Corps, which is a school setting, right? So the chicks that I was dealing with there was in school and in school with me, and even in high school, chicks that was in school. But this was one of the first chicks that I dealt with, like out of a school setting, that she had graduated, she was grown, I was grown, we was 18, right? And I met her in a club, right? And another thing, this is when I learned if your girl hugged the bouncer, that if you go to the club with her and she hugged the bouncer, it's a wrap. Sidebar. Let me sidebar this. Say this. Take your girl to the club. If you go out to the club with your girl or go out to a party and she hugged the bouncer or the promoter, she red flag, fam. She for the streets. Trust me. But anyway, so this girl, I met her in a club. We hit it off, whatever. And again, I'm 18 years old. I think I'm a player, but I still don't, you know, I'm fresh. I'm green, right? As far as, especially in the street world, the adult game of life, the playing with high school hoes and all that was cool. But I'm in the big leagues now, right? This ain't high school hoes. So meet this chick, we hit it off. Meet her in the club. So we end up dating, like seriously. I end up dating this chick seriously. I want to say her name, but I ain't gonna do it like that. You know, she was very into me, very attracted to me. But I found out the hard way that she was going through a whole phase when she met me. You see what I'm saying? I met her in the club, right? I met her in the club, whatever. She went out probably maybe twice a month, something like that. She went out like some chicks be going out like 3-4 times a week, but she wasn't really like that. But, you know, I thought she was quote unquote a decent chick. I thought she was at the time. You see what I'm saying? I'm thinking like, hey, you know, I got me something at least halfway decent. You see what I'm saying? And she fine. Puerto Rican chick. And she fine. She sexy. The whole nine. So, okay, we could, you know, I could rock with this a little bit, right? But boy, did I learn that these hoes be fucking, right? I remember sliding the first time. The first time I remember sliding, I'm trying to get it, and this is before let me set the tone. This is before cell phones and all this shit, right? Cell phones were very expensive, and she didn't have a cell phone, so you had to call the mom's crib or whatever. And it was not uncommon to pull up on people. Like right now, if somebody show up at your house, you're gonna be like, "What the hell?" You know what I'm saying? If you don't hear from somebody right now, or somebody come to your house and you ain't heard from them, it's gonna be crazy because it's like nowadays, it's like you should have texted me before you called. I mean, before you came, or you could have called me before you came. But back then, it wasn't like that. It was, especially young, it was acceptable. Let's say I ain't seen my homeboy or whatever, I can't get a hold, or I ain't heard from him. I just slide to his crib and be like, "Hey, yo, what's up? Let's slide." Or you go to your home, or you go to your chick house, you go knock on the door. You ain't called them or nothing like that. That was commonplace back then. That wasn't seen as like weird, stalky behavior back then. So, me and my homies, we in the car, we sliding. Me and my homies in the car, we sliding around. I'm like, "Hey, we was in the area that, she be at one of her friends' house or whatever. So I was like, let's go slide over here and see what's up with them. So we slide over there. And again, think about it. This is pre-cell phone, right? Cell phones was out, but they was very, very expensive, right? And everybody didn't have one. So, I didn't know her homegirl's house number or nothing, but it wasn't uncommon for you to slide on people because she'll slide to my crib or whatever. But so I slid over there. We go over there. Me and my homeboy come like, stop at old girl house and see what they up to. So we go over there. It's her, like 3 other dudes, and where they was at, the door was open. They was having a little party and the door was open. And so I go in there. It's like her, 5 other girls, and 5 other dudes. And she up on a dude. Like one of the dudes, she up on this dude, like on him. Like, I'm like, damn, bro. I ain't make no scene. I ain't cause no fuss. I just saw that and I just slid off. You see what I'm saying? It ain't like she can text me like, "Hey, come back." I just slid off. So she come looking for me. A couple days later, she come looking for me. "Oh, it wasn't nothing like that. He was just drunk, or we was just drunk. It wasn't like that. Da, da, da." I ain't believe it, but I'm like, okay, yeah, cool, right? So I slide on her again, but it's a couple months later. I may tell some stories about this chick because this quote unquote relationship with this chick, it taught me a lot at my young age of 18, and I have a lot of it was very eventful dealing with this chick. But so I go couple months pass by or whatever, and I'm trying to get a hold of her again or whatever. So I go to her she live with her mom. So I go to her mom crib, right? She go to her mom crib. I go to her mom crib. I'm like, "Hey, what's up with such and such and such?" She like, "Oh, she in the hospital. She got into a really bad car accident." I'm like, "Damn, yeah." I'm like, "Damn, for real?" She like, "Yeah, with some guy named such and such and such." So I knew who the dude was. I'm like, she this dude, because I knew who he was or whatever. So I called my homie. I'm like, "Hey, what's the name and what's the name? Fuck around." Because the dude is not my homie, but I know of the dude because a homie of my homie, they homies, if that makes sense. So I called the homie of my homie, like, "Hey, they around?" He like, yeah. And back then women could kind of bounce around, outside of it, so long as it wasn't in the same like circle or the next circle over or the same network. It was easier for women to bounce around and do dope because there was really no social media. MySpace was starting to take off, but a lot of people wasn't really using MySpace at this particular time. You had Black Planet, but Black Planet wasn't really, everybody wasn't using Black Planet, and most people didn't have computers or laptops and stuff like that. So so I dude tell me, yeah, they doing their thing or whatever. And again, it was hard. It was easier for women so long as they were smart about it and kind of like did their thing outside of different networks of dudes, they could slut around it and you really wouldn't know. You see what I'm saying? Because you couldn't see it really, right? Unless you caught them. So He tell me, yeah, and this dude wasn't in my network or another network. He was in a two, three networks over, if that makes sense, in street terms. But so which confirms it for me. He confirmed it for me. So I'm like, damn, this chick. In the car with a dude, basically cheating on me, and get into a car wreck, damn near about to die, right? So I just was like, I took that. It stung. That wasn't one of them ones. So I was like hurt and distraught and disgusted. I don't know why, but that wasn't one of them ones that like broke me. But I just started like thinking about all the stuff that people taught me of, oh, you know, she hugged a bouncer, or if she'd go to the club, or if you meet her at the club, you know, and Rated R song was out at the time, these hoes be fucking. So I just associated her with that, right? When I think of that song, These Hoes Be Fucking, and when I think of that lesson, I think of this chick, right? Because she wasn't really, like, she did go to the club, but it's like, this is what you expect of young people, right? And at the time, it's like, I thought everybody went to the fucking club, to be honest with you. Like, I thought everybody went and partied at our age at some point, you know what I'm saying? But she wasn't in there like 2-3 times a week, or, you know. But when we did go, I remember I did go with her, and she hugged the bouncer, and she knew the promoter and shit like this. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, so I find out about this. I find out that I put everything into perspective. So like, as I'm coming along, right? And I was still kind of dealing with her, but it wasn't, you know, it was like here or there. We hit a couple times, but I wasn't really taking her too serious after that. But as I'm growing in the game, and you like meeting new people, now I'm starting to go to jail and stuff like this. Like, she in every network. You see what I'm saying? I said that to say this was probably the biggest slut I know. If I could put a body count on her, it'll probably be in the hundreds. You see what I'm saying? Throughout her life, like, she was like that. And I dealt with this chick when I was 18. You know, you be in jail talking, or you be somewhere else talking, and everybody talking about hoes, and her name always came up. No matter what network I was in, no matter what group of dudes I was talking to, her name always came up, right? I'm glad that when I was like starting to hear stuff about this, that wasn't my girl at the time. But yeah, these hoes be fucking. I'm gonna say her name again, right? These hoes be fucking, and if it walk like a duck, right? If it quack like a duck, it's more than likely a duck. It's more than likely a duck. Now, let me just say this: when I say these hoes be fucking, that don't mean they super sluts like this chick turned out to be, right? This chick was fun to hang with too. This chick was very fun, very fun chick to be around. But you know, it don't mean that they super sluts. It don't mean that they got 100 bodies, or they got, you know, a whole basketball team. They got a whole basketball team of dudes, or they letting every dude hit it. It don't mean that. When I say that, it just means that, you know, when they going through this phase, they susceptible to more susceptible to casual sex. You know, the guys that they like, it's easier for them to you know, give it up. Now, if you add trauma and what do you call it? Not stress, but traumas, and going through stuff as a kid, or you add alcohol or drugs into the mix, it makes it even worse for a woman, young and fertile, going through this phase. It makes it even worse when you add this stuff into the mix. Empty voids, feeling needy, feeling inadequate, low self-esteem, because guys are coming at them when they're young and they hot. Guys are coming at them constantly. You see what I'm saying? And the guys that's coming at them constantly, especially when they just get into the game, they don't have the awareness as a 29-year-old who done been through the shit. They green and they goofy and they going for anything when they're younger like that. You see what I'm saying? So they getting cracked. This is why a lot of them, when they can't lock down something in this phase, and they be getting cracked, or, you know, they be getting ran through. they get bitter towards men, and they say all men want to do is have sex, because they don't know how to bring value to a man. They haven't been taught how to keep a man and bring value. So guys are just hitting it and quitting it, and they feeling inadequate, and it's traumatizing them, and so they get salty, they get jaded, and it's like, oh, all men are dogs, all men wanted sex, men this, men that, men that. It's the same way when women, you keep going on dates and you keep getting ghosted after the date. You get salty after a while. You see what I'm saying? But it don't mean that they super sluts when they're going through this phase. But again, they're more open to casual sex. They're more open to getting ran through and getting played, and getting swindled and getting bamboozled by real players that's adults who got some real knowledge. You see what I'm saying? And of course, she's an adult, but she ain't. If I'm 24, right, and I meet a chick who's 20, and I've been fucking since I was 14, 15, I'm gonna run circles around her any day, because she don't have the game for that. You see what I'm saying? Especially if all I wanted to do was hit it, and I don't have integrity with it, or I'm a lie, or I'm a lead her on. They more open to stuff like this. You see what I'm saying? So when you sum it all together, these hoes be fucking, bro. That's why I tell you guys, if your girl is under a certain age, it's in America, you in a pointless relationship. More than likely, you in a relationship because you in the simp guy. I mean, you the simp guy. You the guy you the guy that's reserved for, the simpy feelings and the energy and the attention, because they still need that at the same time. But if a woman is in a quote unquote serious relationship with you and she's under a certain age, she more than likely don't really take you serious like that. You see what I'm saying? They don't want to be locked down at that age when they're young like that. They want to cash in. You see what I'm saying? They want to get all the attention they can get. They want to get all the fucking validation, right? And on top of all of this, being in this whole phase, and if there's trauma or, feeling inadequate or whatever, on top of all this, if they look halfway decent, they want to cash in on this attention. They want to cash in on this validation. And the side effect of that is sex. You see what I'm saying? So these hoes be fucking. Now, like we used to do, we used to make the mistake, and younger guys make the mistake of looking for the good ones, right? This is the thing. And this is where guys go wrong, right? When you're looking for the good women, right? But with the good women, you associate that, the good women, you associate that with sexuality, their sexuality. That's a huge mistake. Women don't associate their morality with their sexuality. I'm going to say that again. Women do not associate their sexuality with their morality, or their morality with their sexuality. They don't. So a woman, in her mind, her being a good person has nothing to do with whether she have sex with one dude or 50 dudes, right? This is the key. They know that you associate their sexuality with their morality, right? And so they play on that, right? So they play on that, and so they overdo the goodness, right? All they have to do is act good, right? All they have to do is act good, right? If they act good, or if they act like they in Bible study, or if they act like they don't go out all the time, or if they don't go all the time, or they don't hang out with a bunch of guys or whatever slutty activities, if they don't act like they doing that, they know that in your mind, you're going to believe, okay, she's a good girl. She don't have sex, casually, or she ain't got no high body count. And so they overdo that shit. You see what I'm saying? So you may meet a chick, let's say today's time, you may meet a chick. So in your mind, a thought is, on Instagram, popping ass, shaking ass with the OnlyFans, or putting provocative pictures, right? And so she may say, she knows that you associate that behavior with sexuality, right? And whether she's a good person or not. So what happens is, in order to trick you, she won't post provocatively on the internet. And when you see her staying at home, playing video games, not going out, not posting provocative pictures on the internet, you gonna think that she's a good girl. Right? Meaning good girl as in she don't give it up like that, or she ain't out here, or she ain't in no whole phase and shit like that. You see what I'm saying? That's because they know that you equate their goodness with sexuality, or you equate goodness with sexuality. You equate sexuality with morality. You think if she has sex a lot, that means she's a bad person. So they play on this good girl thing because they know that's how you associate it. That's a mistake. Do not associate a woman's moral compass with her sexuality, because they don't. If they go decide to fuck 100 dudes, right, in their mind, it's not going to make them a bad person. Sometimes, you know, a lot of human beings, and it's not just women, don't want to be bad people, right? But you think, well, if she does this, she's a bad person. They don't think like that. Her sexuality is her sexuality. Her moral compass is her moral compass. Stop making that mistake, fellas. It's not going to serve you, and it only leaves you open to be manipulated, because all they have to do is act good or make you wait a few more days. And then you falling in love with somebody who out there, or who done been out there, right? Whether you like a chick with a high body count or low body count, that's your preference. I'm just arming you with the tools and the knowledge to so you don't get taken advantage of, or you don't get manipulated. Do not associate a woman's moral compass with her sexuality. That's a big mistake, right? And that's why they fake, right? Again, that's why they fake it. That's why they fake it, because they know how you think. That's why they can fake being good and, you know, let me not post my pictures. Or I'm gonna tell him I don't got an Instagram, or, you know, I just meet him, I'm liking him, right? So I know how he think because I can tell how he talking on a date. So for the next 2-3 months, let me sacrifice going to parties. Because I heard him say on a date about how his ex-girl was going to parties and how he didn't like that, and he thought that she was out there. So for the next 2-3 months, I'm going to sacrifice not going to parties, because I mean, he making good money, you know, or he a simp or whatever. I can get some benefit from this. So let me act like, you know, let me behave accordingly, so to speak. It's easy. It's why they fake it, because they know where you at with it, and they know your associations, excuse me. So, fellas, I said all that to say, these hoes be fucking, get over it. Now, the second one, right? Second thing that the game, not the second thing, but the second lesson the game taught me the hard way, right? And again, these are in no particular order. This one actually should have been, this was very important, probably the most important. I should have put this first, but you have to give women a return on their investment. You have to give women a return on their investment, or they will leave your ass. I don't care how big your muscles are. I don't care how much money you have. I don't give a fuck how player you think you are. I don't care how much game you have. I don't care how much money you have. If they not getting back from what they pouring into, eventually they will leave. I don't care how alpha you think you are. You understand that? I learned that the hard way, bro. And that shit burns bad. I end up figuring it out, but I learned that the hard way when I was young. You understand what I'm saying? I was always taught, right? You don't give a bitch nothing, right? And make sure they give you everything. I learned this when I was young, a kid, middle school, high school. So this was always mentality, right? This was always my mentality, right? And this is how I learned about investment. And this is how I learned investment was the key, which, by the way, you know, humble collar pop. There's nobody talking about making women provide you value, making women invest in you. Nobody was talking about that on these YouTube streets till I came. I'm not saying I was the only person in the world ever doing that, but a lot of these dudes wasn't talking that shit until I came on here and put that real game down on how to really, really get a woman's soul. You see what I'm saying? I was doing that when I was in high school, making women invest and sacrificing them. making them put their freedom on the line. You see what I'm saying? Making them put it all on the line, making them steal, do all type of shit, making them invest something, giving up half their check, giving up their whole check. Go buy me the new Jordans. I was doing this when I was a kid, bro. Nobody on YouTube, nowhere, no dating coach was talking about stuff like that until I came. You see what I'm saying? Again, I'm not saying I'm the first male to ever play the game like that. Of course not, because I was taught that. Right? But that just goes to show you where the real at. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get my stripes on YouTube. I didn't get my stripes on YouTube or in my 30s, or I've been living like this. You feel what I'm saying? But you have to you got to give a woman a return on the investment, right? And again, I was taught that you give a woman nothing, and make sure she give you everything, right? And again, I got burned several times with that mentality, right? And it stings the worst, right? It stings the worst because it's one thing to have a woman who's not attracted to you, who's lost her attraction. She's pulling away. She ain't giving you sex like that no more. She being insufferable. She's being a headache because she don't want to be with you. She breaking up with you. She telling you she want to break. She cheating. It's one thing to go through stuff like that, right? Or you lose your woman like that. It's another thing to lose your woman when she provided you so much value. So much value. It literally made your life 10 times easier. And for her to one day just decide that, all right, I'm through, and leave your ass. That fucking hurts. That stings. And that's my players who good with women know exactly what that feels like. That don't feel good. It stings really, really bad. Shit stinks, right? I had several chicks like this in my younger days, my late teens, early 20s, right? One woman in particular, her name, I'm almost said her name. Met this chick. It was about 19 when I met her. 19. I already knew what to do. Instant, right? Instant. Hey, bring me some cigarettes. She called me, or she called my mom's house. Hey, I want to come see you. Can I see you? Or whatever. I met her at a party somewhere. Or it was like, I forgot where I met her. Somewhere like some type of party. In fact, it's a graduation party. They was just graduating or something. It was at some graduation party I went to one of my homeboys, and I met this chick there or whatever. She was probably 18 at the time. She was 18. I was 19, I think. And, we hit it off. We chopping it up that night or whatever. So probably about a week or so later, she called my mom's house or wherever I was at. I gave her the number to where, you used to give women the numbers to where you used to be at, or you get their mom's house or they line or whatever. She called. She get in contact with me somehow. She's like, I want to see you, right? I already knew the game. Tell her, bring me a box of cigarettes, because I used to smoke cigarettes. You smoke Newports. Bring me a box of, bring me a box of Newport 100s. It's in a 211. 211 was the Steel Reserves. We used to drink Steel Reserves and shit. Bring me a box of Newport 100 Longs and a 4-pack of the Steel of the 211. So she did it. Boom, got her. First link. She bring me that investment. Yeah, it's what back then the cigarettes was $3-4 or something like that. The beer was $2. Yeah, it's a $6 investment, but we starting small, right? We start small. So she bring me that, boom, I put the game down on her. We end up smashing, doing what we do. Long story short, I make this girl my girl, right? So I had this girl to the point. Of we would be in the crib, me and my homies. It'd be 4-5 of us. She'll call me, hey, I miss you. I want to see you. Because remember, it was hard to get a hold of people back then, right? You had to wait to see them, wait to hear their voice, wait to talk to them. You didn't have instant access to a person like how, you do now. So chicks was like really craving you and shit. Hey, I want to come see you. All right, we hungry. Who is we? Me and my homies. Can you bring us some Taco Bell? Bring us some Taco Bell. Well, what y'all want? XYZ, 20 tacos or however many tacos, and stop by and grab us a fifth of Seagram's gin and grab me some Newport 100s. I'd be damned if she didn't show up with it. See what I'm saying? I'm telling you, my homies was like, bruh, you got that sauce, right? She would buy the whole house groceries, all type of shit. And she would give me half of her check. And she would, the Jordan the 19s was out. I just told this story to somebody else. I forgot. But the number 19 Jordans was out. Not the number 19s, the number 12 Jordans was out. For all my sneakerheads, in 2004, I was 19 years old, getting ready to turn 20 or something like that. The Jordans was coming out. The 12 Jordans was coming out every month or whatever. They released different colorways, right? They came out originally in 97, but they was re-releasing them for the first time in 2004, right? Or late 2003 or something like that. But the 12s, she would go get me every pair of the 12s, right? So I know what you young kids thinking, oh, well, that ain't really nothing. Get on the sneaker app. It wasn't no fucking sneaker app. You had to go through a riot to get a pair of shoes back in the days. When the Jordans came out, it was a mob of people at the mall. And it was made a best man win. And every month, the motherfuckers came out, or every other month, she went and took her ass on an early Saturday morning, camped out at fucking 5 o'clock in the morning to get me them shoes. This chick. This was one of the chicks, like, I always had chicks, doing stuff for me. But when I was like, I got it. I'm that dude. Like, I'm on cloud 9, And I was, dealing with other chicks and all type of stuff. I was still dealing with that Puerto Rican girl, too, that I was telling y'all about. Going into her, I was still dealing with that Puerto Rican girl, but I wasn't really, we wasn't really as serious as we used to be. But, yeah. Did all this for me. She bought me when the Xbox came out, the first Xbox, she bought me the Xbox. Not when it first came out, but I was like, let me get the Xbox. She bought me the Xbox. Bruh, anything I needed, anything I wanted, anything, she did everything for me sexually. Everything. I ain't get her nothing but a little game and some dick, right? But she wanted more than that, bro. She wanted more than that, and I strung that for as long as I could, right? And me being arrogant back then, it's not even a confidence back then. It was arrogance and cocky. Being young, I wasn't paying attention, right? I wasn't paying attention. So one day I'm playing True Crime LA, right? I'm at my mom's crib playing True Crime, that was at my mom's crib, bro. Maybe at my mom's crib or, yeah, I think I was at my mom's crib because we had when I first met her, me and my homies, we had a house that we rented, but we ended up getting evicted out of there, and I was back at my mom's crib for a couple months. So when this happened, I was at my mom's crib, but when I first met her, I was living on my own, but then we ended up getting evicted for wilding and all that, tearing the place up. So I remember I'm in my room, I'm playing True Crime LA that she bought me on the Xbox with the J's on. Right? She called me. She called my mom's crib. She was like, hey, Andre, I need to talk to you. I'm like, what's going on? She was like, you everything good? I'm like, yeah. She was like, all right. You somewhere where you sitting down somewhere? I don't know why people used to do that. You sitting down somewhere? Yeah, I'm cool. I know something wrong, so I get up, pause the game, I go sit outside. Sit outside on the porch. I'm listening to her, and she says, I can't do this with you no more. Right? I'm like, what? My heart sank into my stomach. I'm like, what? What you mean? She was like, yeah, this, I got to end this. right? So I'm like, what's going on? Like, why? Like, what's going on? She was just like, this just ain't it for me, right? So I'm like, is it somebody else? And she was like, yeah. I'm like, who? She was like, oh, it's this guy at my this guy that I met at work. We met at work a couple months back. I kind of been dealing with him, and this is what I'm gonna do. So I'm like, damn, you serious? She's like, yeah. Me, at that time, I was hypersensitive about letting women see that they got the best of me, and see that I was hurt or mad or shit. So it's like, all right, man, I'll catch up with you. I hung up the phone. I was devastated. I damn near cried, bro. I was sick to my stomach. Cause I'm like, I couldn't understand, why did this happen? Like, she's so in love with me. Anything I asked, like we didn't have arguments, and it wasn't like I was toxic and beating on her and like we was arguing and doing tight. It wasn't even like that. Cause I never tolerated that type of shit. All that arguing, toxic shit, that never was my style. You see what I'm saying? So I didn't understand that shit, man. For a long time, didn't really understand that shit. Then it happened again with another chick. Then it happened again with another chick, right? And so I started to realize once I got into my mid-20s that I wasn't giving them what they needed to keep going. And dick in the little game is not enough. You see what I'm saying? Right? I learned that when women are submitting to you, they not just submitting to you just to submit to you just because they want to do it. They doing it because they want something to you. They doing it because that's their payment for whatever they need from you. You see what I'm saying? And all women are different. All women don't have the same needs. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, I learned to, give women back what they came for. Now you have to do it in a way that they don't take advantage of you or that they don't take you for granted, but you have to give them back to keep them going. That was a very hard lesson to learn, because most of my heartbreaks came from stuff like that. Women just leaving, and then they leaving with messing with busters, who I thought was busters like Square, because I was doing the street thing at the time. So it'd be dudes with like good jobs and shit like that. I'm like, squares dudes, like, she ain't got nothing on me. She ain't got no game like me. But the shit didn't matter. They was giving the women what they needed or what they wanted. And I wasn't. That game ain't gonna kill. Game is cool. Game is the glue. But it take more than that for long-term maintenance of a relationship. You need your game to be on point. I'm not saying that. Right? But they not submitting to you. They're not just doing it to just do it, bro. Because it's just, you have to give them something. Right? And again, my mentality was you give a bitch nothing. I didn't go on my first date, bro. Fellas, saying, bro, because we get intimate. It's like one-on-one conversation, right? I didn't go on my first date until I was probably to where I took. Now, mind you, I got all these girlfriends at the time from fucking 14, 15. I say that because that's when I lost my virginity. Up until the point, right? All these girlfriends I had, right? I didn't go on my first date. I did nothing for them. Never took them to no movies. Never took them out to dinner. Never dated them. Nothing, bro. No gifts. No nothing. Straight game. It works in the beginning, but they want more. They want something. So they give their submission. They give you everything, for it. But I didn't go on my first date until I was probably 24 years old, where I took my money and took a woman on a date on everything I love. I was probably 20 at the time, 21 at the time. And I had a chick, the one that did me dirty when I was in jail. I used to go places with her because she was probably 24, 25 at the time. She was a little bit older than me. So she used to take me out to eat and stuff, like to different restaurants. She used to take me and she would spend her money to take me. But me personally, I never, hey, baby, put your shoes on, let's go, or meet me, let's go on a date here, until I was 24 years old. Damn near 25. And my homie, one of my homies, he was getting money at the time. And this is when I started, like, because I had got out of prison. When I got out of prison, I was broke, flat broke. and I was starting to build myself back up. And he would do shit like that. He'd be taking hoes here and taking hoes there. When I got out, he was on, one of my good homies. When I got out of prison, right, this was a dude I used to be with every day. When I got out of prison, he was on. He was up, right? So, he'd be going to Cheesecake Factory with the hoes and taking them to Kobe and, Chili's and just doing dates. He was like in the game, like dating hoes. I wasn't on that. And at first, I used to clown him for it. He was like, nah, nigga, this what I want to do. I want to go eat this. And they be like, you don't want to live, bro. You making money. You don't want to live. You ain't going to go by yourself. So you take a chick with you and shit. So I started to kind of adopt that, like the whole dating scene thing. Like meet a chick, you meet a chick and, you plan a date to go somewhere. But before that time, before I was like 24, 25 years old, that wasn't my game at all. My game was I meet a chick, I chop it up with them on the phone, pull up on them, right? Pull up on them. And even if I did do anything, I would be like, hey, I'm about to stop at McDonald's or I'm about to stop at the Gyros and get me some 10 wings or something like that. Do you want some on a lunch break? It would be stuff like that. But it was like very, very low investment, $5 or $10 or something like that. Before I started like taking women on dates and learning how to date like that, the dating scene. I would just talk to them on the phone and pull up on them or have them pull up on me, chit chat, and build my shit like that, But yeah, that's how much I was anti-give a bitch anything. I felt like I wasn't even feeding them. I'm not even going to feed you sometimes. Depending on how you look, again, sometimes I would be, I would pull up on them and bring like some McDonald's. I'm about to start McDonald's. You want something? And we sit in the car while they on their lunch break at work and we just eating fucking nuggets or something like that and just chopping it up. But I went out of my way to not fatten the frog for the snake because I knew that, you'll feed a woman and go on a date with a woman and get her drunk and then she'll lead a date and go to her cut buddy house, go to her maintenance man house, and you just did all the work. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, I was anti-give a bitch anything, nothing. I lost a lot of good women like that because I didn't give them anything. I was that arrogant, and it's hurt and it stings. So all my young guys that's playing the investment game, you got to give them a return on the investment game. And shout out to King Dre for bringing that to the YouTube street, to bringing that on the internet, period. You see what I'm saying? That investment game. So I'm going to say this again. Give a woman a return on her investment. You have to, or they're going to leave you. I don't care who you are. I don't care how alpha you are. I don't care. If you don't meet a woman's needs, she is going to leave you and go get her needs met. The same way you will if she's not meeting your needs. Now, the third thing, right? The third thing that the game taught me the hard way is lying is not good. Lying is bad. Lying is actually worse than you think it is, right? We come into the game, fellas, lying and sneaking and cheating and, being deceitful because, for some reason we think that's what we have to do to get what we want. We think we have to tell them what they want to hear or treat them, you got to treat people how, they want to be treated. But we think that we have to tell them, we have to behave in a certain way in order to get what we want. We think we have to deceive them. And that's could be the furthest thing from the truth. You don't have to do that at all. You don't have to do that at all, right? Lying, when you lie, lying is very, very stressful, right? The person that you lying to know you're lying to them. Nobody's stupid. People think that, you think that you getting over on somebody, a lot of the times they just not confrontational, bro. You see what I'm saying? A lot of women are just not confrontational. So they're not going to confront you, right? But you're not getting over on nobody, right? And so what happens is, now you have resentment, right? And when a person starts resenting you, typically your woman, because you're lying, right? They behave different, right? This behavior is not conducive to what you want, to make you happy or to keep you happy or to fill your needs. And so now there's drama and there's beef, right? But when you when you peel back all of the layers, right, and you get down to the nitty gritty of it, you know, the person just don't want to be played with, bro. Don't want to be lied to. You don't like being lied to. You don't like your woman lying to you. He's just a friend. I went over here when whatever lies they be telling, you don't like to be lied to either, right? And this makes you look at her different. She starts to look at you different, right? And this, again, this resentment and this drama, this resentment is going to cause drama, and it's going to cause beef. And this is going to stress you out. And when you're stressed out, you can't think properly. So now you're making decisions based on stress. Now you operating, your everyday life is operating based on stress. Stress is not good, especially this type of stress. You see what I'm saying? It may not seem like a big deal, but overall, these bad decisions and these decisions you make based on stress, even outside of the relationship, these compound over time. You see what I'm saying? And if, 2 years later, you got statuses on Facebook talking about how you fighting demons. You're not fighting demons. These are just the sum of the choices that you've been making, based on being in a stressful, toxic, dramatic, beefy environment, right? What also happens when you lie to women, again, although they may not say nothing or even if they don't give you stress or they just let you, whatever, they know you lying to them 9 times out of 10. So what happens is they start to lose respect for you. Feel what I'm saying? You start to lose the respect. Unfortunately, the double standard in this society, at least, is that men are held to a standard of honesty, right? If you ask every woman the 5 things that she want in a man, honesty is going to be one of them. If you ask every man the qualities he want in every friend or every woman, or even if you ask every man the qualities that he wants in a friend. So if you could ask a woman the qualities that she wants in a mate and ask a man the qualities that he wants in a friend, right? We are held to a standard of honesty. Honesty will be on one of them top 5 for most people, right? Men are just told to, tell the truth. And because in real talk, when you lying, that means you're scared of something. There's fear there. There's scarcity there, right? And those are the symptoms of cowardice. And cowardice is not masculine at all. A masculine man tells the truth, right? So, but anyway, they start to lose respect for you, right? With this loss of respect comes not being willing to submit, right? Because they don't trust you anymore, because the respect is not there. They can't be free and 100% open with you now, right? Because the respect isn't there. So you wonder why she ain't sucking your dick like she used to, right? You wonder why she ain't doing backflips off the dresser like she used to. She ain't opening up to you sexually like she used to. You still may be getting it in, but it's not the same. It ain't as wet as it used to be. She's not really confiding in you like that no more. She talking more to her homegirls and shit now. She don't trust you. She don't respect you because you lying. You don't want this in your relationship. When your woman don't trust you and when your woman don't respect you, this is a recipe for infidelity. You see what I'm saying? Pay attention. Not even pay attention. Stop lying. You don't have to lie. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing to you. Tell the truth. You get what you want when you tell the truth. Trust me, 9 times out of 10. Also, right, it makes you simp harder, right? When you lying and sneaking and doing stuff that you shouldn't be doing, it makes you simp harder because naturally, as a human being, right, when you do something wrong, naturally, subconsciously, you try to right the wrong some other way. So when you lying to your girl, sneaking around, cheating and doing all of this, your behavior will typically be, a lot of the times it may be a little over the top. You start simping a little harder. You see what I'm saying? You start doing things that, you know, that's simpy or more nice guyish in order to right your wrongs. And over time, this gonna compound. Ask me how I know. See what I'm saying? I done been through that. Right? A lot of guys that's not, especially that's not self-aware, when they cheating, when they cheating on their girls, their behavior becomes so simpy that the fact that they cheating on their girls don't turn them off. The fact that they behaving in a simpy way turned the girl off. That she lose attraction because you become more simpy. You become more agreeable. You see what I'm saying? You start doing things that you shouldn't be doing. And I don't want to say agreeable, but you know, more, less of a spine, less of a backbone. You know, because naturally you're just trying to right your wrongs. You overdoing it because you feel guilty. Guilt makes people do that. You see what I'm saying? So understand that when you lying and you cheating and sneaking and geeking, this is the repercussions of it. So not only do you have a woman who's lost respect for you and don't trust you, now you acting like a simp. Recipe for disaster. Fellas, you don't have to lie. You don't have to lie at all. Most women will deal with you so long as you provide them value. Most women will still deal with you so long as, again, you have to be providing them some value, right? You have to be of benefit. Most women will look the other way so long as you're not being disrespectful. If you tell them, hey, this is what I'm gonna do. Trust me. Most, I'm not saying every woman is with that, but most are with that. Again, you have to be providing them value, right? And it's the other thing too about women. This some game, fellas. I learned this, right? My 20s, mid-20s, right? I learned this about women. You don't have to lie to women, right? If you doing your thing, right? Let's say you're doing your thing and you being you, right? You don't have to lie to them. You know why? Because if they like you, if they're attracted to you, they'll lie to their damn self, bro. I'm going to say that again. You don't have to lie to women. Because if they like you, if they're attracted to you, if they love you, they'll lie to themselves. A woman's mind and imagination is a wonderful thing, and it could be used to your advantage. But again, fellas, stop the lying. It makes everything worse. You don't have to lie. Women respect honest men. Women will respect you more by telling them what the deal is. You see what I'm saying? Versus leading them on and lying and shit. Most of the times when guys get caught cheating, it's not about, when they get mad, it damn near don't even be about the other girl, especially if they securing it. If a woman is securing her position where she knows she got your heart, she got your resources and all that, it don't really be about the other chick. It be about you lying. It be about you being deceitful and dishonest and breaking trust. And remember what I said on the other episode about trust. Trust is one of the main components of pair bonding. So when you break trust with a person, it's hard for them to bond with you. When you break trust with a person, you break the bond. You remember how you guys always talk about pair bonding, body counts, pair bonding? Lying will break pair bonding way more than a body count ever will. You see what I'm saying? Trust, oxytocin, bonding. Lying kills that. Mistrust, lack of respect. simpy behavior. No pair bonding. She can't bond with you. Keep it 100. Be a man about your shit. Be masculine. Again, women will respect you when you keep it 100, and they'll still deal with you. Ask me how I know. Again, you got to be valuable. Now, if you just broke and they ain't, if they taking care of you and all that, nah, they ain't going to be about that. They ain't going to watch you deal with other women and all that. But again, if you're valuable, so long as you're doing it in a way that you're safe, she feels secure in her position. She feels secure in her position, and, you're not embarrassing her. A lot of women will look the other way if you're benefiting them. You see what I'm saying? But the lying shit, I'm telling you, it's bad for business, and it makes everything worse. You don't have to do it. Trust me. Now, the fourth one, the fourth lesson that the game taught me the hard way, right, is that no one is above the game, fellas. Nobody is above the game. Not even you. Not even me. No one is above the game. Ain't nobody bigger than the game. What that means is the game has rules, right? And there are consequences to breaking those rules. I don't care who you are. Like I say all the time, play the game or the game will play you. Simple as that. Every arena, everything in life has rules and boundaries. And when you violate these laws, so to speak, right? When you violate these laws, you pay the consequences. If you run out in the streets and there's a car moving at a certain speed, right? The law of nature says you'll probably die if it's going X amount speed, right? If it's going a certain speed. The law of physics and whatever says that you'll probably die if you make an impact with that car. You see what I'm saying? If the law says if you run a red light, you're going to get a ticket. Nature's law says if you hold your head underwater for 10 to 15 minutes or however long, you're going to drown. If you touch fire, you're going to get burned. Everything has rules, even this game, meaning dating and relationships, right? And there are consequences for breaking them. I don't care who you are, how much money you have, how alpha you think you are, how player you are. I learned this the hard way. I thought I was above certain things. Case in point, when I started getting into the dating and all of that, as far as like taking women on dates, when I started getting a lot of money, right, I wanted to reflect that in my lifestyle. And so there were times where I've taken women to Ocean Prime and all type of shit on a first date, expensive as hell, right? And a lot of the times, I'm not going to say all the times, because I've taken women on some expensive dinner dates the first time and smashed, right? A lot of the times. I don't say a lot, but there's a lot of chicks that I took on, a decent, and when I say expensive, I mean $150, $200 when the bill come. And I smashed, right? I end up smashing within either that night or 2-3 days, right? But, a lot of the times I got put into a trick bag. I knew, though, and a trick bag is when a woman label you a trick. Oh, this the money guy. So, I knew the game, so I know how to deal with that. But a lot of the times when I started getting money and wanted to live a lifestyle, I was thinking that, well, my game will carry me. So I can go, if I want to go to Ocean Prime or I want to go to Charlie's tonight, I could take a chick here and my game going to carry me. Nah, they still going to look at you like you trying to impress them. I don't care how much money you have. You see what I'm saying? You still going to get put into a trick bag, especially if you're not a one in a lifetime type of deal. Like Drake could take a woman to like when Drake did the whole rented out the stadium, right? And I did a piece on that. Drake rented out the stadium to have dinner. Drake can't go to Ocean Prime because he's gonna get swamped. He gotta, he have to do what's relative to him, right? And that's a one in a lifetime opportunity for that chick. So, instances like that, that's cool. But well, I said that to say you're not going to, I thought that I can do this and then a chick gonna look at me, my game will carry me. Right. But at the end of the day, she still believed that I was trying to impress her. So what happened next time? Right. So after we go and the dinner and the bill is $300, right? So I'm trying to link next time and I'm like, come to the crib. She's like, oh, but I want to go here now. I know, see, most guys didn't know the game. Most guys don't know the game, so they don't see what's going on. But I even knew then that, okay, I'm in a trick bag, write her off. I ain't really fucking with her. And if she want to, she gonna have to come to my crib. You see what I'm saying? But, that's just an example of violating the rules of the game. You don't lead with your wallet or women gonna put you in a trick bag. You see what I'm saying? You don't do certain things. And if you do, you're going to have to pay the consequences. The consequences of leading with your wallet is getting put in a trick bag. You see what I'm saying? The consequences of, letting a woman disrespect you, right? You may not have the energy to check a woman, right? That's another thing I learned the hard way. Right? You may not have the energy to check a woman. So she may call you out your name and you let it slide. It's going to get worse. The law of the game is you don't tolerate disrespect whatsoever. Always check it. And if they're not down for the checking, charge them. That's the law of the game, regardless of whether you want to play. And that's the thing. Guys be like, well, I don't want to go by the rules. I don't want to play. Well, get played. I don't want to. Why do I have to be susceptible to rules? You got to be susceptible. You susceptible to the rules of life anywhere else, right? And so in dating, you are too, right? But, it have been times to where I thought, I could let chicks get away with certain stuff, right? I thought that I could let them get away with certain stuff or having little tones or saying little shit. And I thought my game would carry me. Sure enough, it got worse. And it got worse. And it got worse. Despite who I am, you not above the game. Ain't nobody bigger than the game. You see what I'm saying? Right? I thought my game was so good that I could break rules. Right? My last relationship that I was in with my kid's mom, it was a prime example. I had my kid's mom on my meat. I mean, she still is, as on some level. Like if I wanted something to be there, if I wanted something to be there with her, it can be, right? I'm talking about my boy's mom. If I wanted it to be something serious, it can be. But I had her for years, the better part of 10 plus years, right? And when I let myself go, as far as like slumping into depression and going broke and not keeping myself up and, stop being I just fell into a slump, right, for a couple years. I thought that my game would carry me through that. Like I thought that, I don't have to be, I could, get the, let myself go. I can just chill. I can coast. I can be comfortable, right? Don't work like that. I thought my game, I thought I was special. I thought I didn't have to, keep my woman attracted like I was doing the 10 fucking years, right? 10 plus years. I thought I didn't have to do that. I thought I could just chill and, I'm me, I'm King Dre, I'm Dre, and they just gonna love me. Don't work like that, bro. Success, when you want success in anything, the rent is due every fucking day. Even in your relationships, the rent is due every single day. Right? So I let myself go. I lost my ambition. the whole nine. And just like any other woman, she lost attraction. This a loss of attraction. I felt like, bitch, how can you? Excuse me, I don't mean to call my kid's mom no B word, but what you mean? I was offended. And so we got to the point of, well, I ain't tolerating that. I don't give a fuck what state I'm in. We done, you know, and we've been done ever since because, you know, one day, maybe when I get a little bit bigger, I'm going to tell that whole story. But, you know, we've been done ever since because throughout the whole situation, I would be, you know, we'd be together for a year. She'll get crazy or, you know, we'll get into it and I'd be like, I'm out of here. I go get my own shit, right? So we'll be together. We'll be apart, but together because I still have her, but we would just be living together. So we'd be apart. It's like that complicated shit. So, but she'll still be on my jock, right? And then we'll get back together. So that last time, I was like, you know what? If we break up again, we done. I'm not doing this back and forth shit. And we broke up. That was 4 years ago. That was it for me. You know what I'm saying? But I don't blame her. I ain't mad at her or nothing. I don't blame her. But I was offended because I'm like, this is me. Right? Now that situation motivated me to get myself back to being who I was. But yeah, the last couple years of that situation, I let myself go because I was going through so much shit. You see what I'm saying? And it just wasn't the same. And being as though it wasn't the same, I was offended. And I'm like, I'm not dealing with this shit. You see what I'm saying? But I said that to say that I shouldn't have let myself go if I wanted to keep that thing going. I still have to be the leader in the relationship. I still have to, like I was the last 10 plus years. I still have to show up and lead and provide and protect and all of these things and provide the safe space for my family, so to speak. When I stopped doing that, for whatever reason, when I stopped doing that, I thought that I would still get the rewards of the leader because I'm me and I'm special and I got all this game. Don't work like that. And I thought my game was that good that I could break the rules. Right? I thought my game was that good, right? Dealing with another chick. She say something, I don't feel like checking it. It's like, I don't even feel like going there. You let it slide. I get it on the back end. My game cold. All right, shit get worse. You see what I'm saying? I thought my game was that good that maybe I could argue. I could argue with a bitch and still, you know, not get the consequences. Because again, these things that I taught y'all, these things that I'm teaching y'all, a lot of this stuff I knew when I was a kid. I learned this stuff very young. You see what I'm saying? A lot of the stuff I learned the hard way, but a lot of the stuff that I teach y'all on the shows, I knew this. Like, I know you're not supposed to be arguing with no woman. I learned that when I was a kid. But it have been times to where I'm thinking that in my mind, my game's so cold, I don't got to follow that. She gonna still be in line. No, the rules of the game. Don't argue with women. You don't speak the same language. When you argue, you build resentment. They start to lose respect for you. You get emotional. The whole nine. That's the laws. That's the consequences of arguing with women. You see what I'm saying? And sure enough, I got the consequences of that, regardless of who I was. Play the game, fellas. Play the game, or the game will play you. No one is above the game. Not you, not me, not no one. No one. If you don't follow the rules of the dating world, of the relationship world, you are going to suffer the consequences. If you don't follow the laws of the United States, you are going to suffer the consequences. If you don't follow the laws of life, you are going to expire early. You see what I'm saying? And this is the kicker. Ignorance is no excuse. I learned this when I was in court, fighting for my life. He told me, I don't want to hear, before you open your mouth, I don't want to hear I didn't know, because ignorance is no excuse. So you better learn this game. Because just because you don't know the laws don't mean nothing. A baby don't know that if it run in the streets and the car hit him, he's going to die. A baby don't know that. But what happens? Do you think, or not, maybe not die, but he going to be hurt if that big 6,000-pound car hit him or hit it? The baby don't know that. The kid don't know that. The kid don't know, if that car hit me, I'm going to break my leg. That's why we have parents to teach us, or mentors to teach us. A kid's ignorance don't excuse it from the consequences of nature's laws. Kids don't get excused because, and I'm using kids because kids are ignorant to laws. This is why they have parents and guardians are supposed to, right? A kid don't know that this fire will burn his arm off. And if it don't stop, it's going to burn him alive. A kid don't know that. But you think nature is going to stop that when that kid touched that fire? No. So you not knowing the laws of the game, you not knowing the rules of the game don't matter. You still susceptible to them. You still got to follow them. And if you don't, you're going to face the consequences, whether you know them or not, whether you want to play it or not. No ifs, ands, or buts. No one above the game, fellas. No one is above the game. Nobody is bigger than the game. Not me, not you. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how alpha you think you are. Period. Now, number 5. That leads me to number 5. This number 5 plays off of number 4, right? The fourth thing that the game taught me the hard way is all mistakes are not fixable. All things aren't fixable. You can't come back from everything. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of you guys, when you guys hit me up, you do something wild or you do something stupid. Man, I hit my girl. How do I fix it? Ain't no fixing that. I mean, you may can get back with her for the moment, but that trauma is going to be with her forever. That piece of her, being violated is going to be with her forever. And it'll never be the same after that. Everything ain't fixable. I cheated on my girl. What do I do now? It's over. My girl cheated on me. What do I do now? It's over. You can't fix everything. If you give a stripper some money, right? If you're trying to date a stripper and you give her some money and she puts you in the trick bag, ain't nothing you can do to get out of it. Right? All mistakes aren't fixable. So move in a way that you're not making mistakes. I tell all guys this, right? Right? And this is something I learned, right? Players, grown men, don't have anything to be sorry about, right? Because they behave in a way that ain't nothing to be sorry about. They don't say things that they would have to be sorry about. Mean what you say and say what you mean. If you do something, do it and stand on it. Don't do anything that you would be ashamed of or you would have to be sorry about. And that's how you fix that. But all mistakes are not fixable. You see what I'm saying? Again, how do I fix this? How do I fix that? Stop making the mistakes. Stop being so reactive and be proactive, because you can't come back from everything. If you fuck around and simp out on your girl, or you stalk her, you do some weak shit, you put your hands on her, or you call her a fat pig or whatever because you emotionally and you angry, and she leave you and she get another dude that's better than you, she ain't coming back to your ass. If you do something to a woman and you make her feel it traumatizes her so much, she ain't coming back to your ass. It ain't nothing you can do about that. You see what I'm saying? If you reject a woman and that rejection triggers something from her childhood, you ain't coming back from that. Everything ain't fixable. The game is not to fix you. The game is to prevent from bullshit and to get what you want. You see what I'm saying? If you notice, everything that I talk about is proactive stuff. This game I talk about is not it's not reactionary, fixing mistakes. It's about how to avoid the mistakes, how to get what you want, not how to clean up bullshit. This ain't about cleaning up bullshit or cleaning up mistakes, because all mistakes are not fixable. Right? I've had several good women in my life. And when I say good, I mean good, decent, reciprocal, confident, the type of woman that you would want to marry, right? One in particular, she got pregnant, right? She got pregnant. Very smart girl. Very smart girl. She got pregnant, and, you know, at the time, I had a policy, I don't know the code word for it, but I don't want to say here because of the whole Roe v. Wade thing. I don't know how that's going to do with the algorithm, but, you know, she did that. She exercised her option, her pro-choice option, right? And I had a policy then that if you did that with one of mine, with my seed, I'm done. I ain't messing with you, and I'm not supporting that. That's how I was back then. So she got, you know, pregnant at a rocky time in our situation. I was probably 20, 21 at the time. She got pregnant when we was on something rocky, but this was a very decent girl. This was a good girl. Didn't have like trauma, or she wasn't combative, very submissive, like, you know, good, decent chick. But remember what I told you about good chicks. And if I haven't told you, I'm gonna tell you. If I haven't told you, I'm gonna tell you now. Good, decent chicks are not gonna let you play with them. Not for too long, at least. You see what I'm saying? Because they know that they're good. They know that they're good chicks, and they know that they deserve better. So they're not gonna tolerate mistreatment and toxic chicks and insecure chicks and all that. They'll tolerate you dragging them forever. But a good, decent chick who know her worth, who knows her value, is not going to go for this, right? And this was this chick even when she was young, right? And shout out to her. But so we was in a rocky place, and she ended up getting pregnant, right? And so she did that, and instead of supporting her, I basically like called her all type of shit, right? Called her a murderer and all type of shit, right? So you know, she was expecting the support, I guess, and she didn't get that from me. And so that for her was I don't know the word, but that was in, like, she couldn't tolerate that. That crossing that boundary for her, there was no coming back from that. And so she stopped messing with me based on that. Now, mind you, I done did all type of other stuff with this chick, but for that I wasn't there for her for that, and I called her all this stuff, she didn't mess with me no more, right? And looking back on it, it's like I understand it now. There was nothing that I can do to fix that. There was no coming back from her being at a moment when she had to make a certain decision, which will affect her mentally forever, and that the man that she poured so much into, despite how he felt, was not there to support her. For her, that was huge, and it's understandable, right? But there was nothing that I can do to fix that. There was no coming back from that, and she never dealt with me again. We kind of tried it a couple years later, but it just never was the same, and she never saw me the same. She never, like, how open, and she was not like that. And when I say tried it, it was a brief moment, and then she ended up moving. And she's married now to a very good chick. She's married, got a family. That dude is I'm not gonna say he's lucky, because you know you don't get women like that by being lucky. But I popped my collar to that dude because he got him a decent one. You see what I'm saying? He got him a decent one. But you know, she very, very beautiful too. You know, that was something that I could not come back from. No matter what I did, no matter what kind of game I tried or nothing, for her, that was it. That was enough for her. You see what I'm saying? You can't come back from everything. You hit your girl. Let's say if you hit your girl, right? Some chicks ain't gonna let you hit them, bro, and be okay with that. You ain't gonna be able to sweet talk your way back in and it's not. Some chicks ain't gonna let you lie to them and cheat on them. You see what I'm saying? Some chicks ain't gonna allow you to not support them or be weak with them or make certain mistakes. Now, I'm not saying that you got to be perfect, but a lot of the stuff that people do and they expect people to stick around for. Like, I get a lot of stories from you guys. I get a lot of stories from you guys that, you know, you guys do certain things and you just want to fix it. And I can give you certain solutions, but I have to tell you, just like I tell you now, this may not work for you, bro, because everything ain't fixable, right? I had a Patreon. I was going to read this before, but I figured that it would take too long. So I'm going to just go into the meat of it. Well, not the meat of it, but I'm going to just give you a glimpse of it now. A guy on Patreon sent me a message. I should read it now. Matter of fact, I'm going to read it now. Let's pull this up. Let's see. It's right here. Because I was going to read this in the beginning, but I was like, nah, this going to take too long. I will be here for 2.5 hours. But while I'm here, boom, just for the sake of giving you an example of what I'm talking about. My dude on Patreon, he says, hey, man, why do you think she's looking to be more independent? So this girl is looking to be more independent, right? I took care of her and my son financially forever, but she brung up, she's been bringing up that she wants to pay for her own stuff and her car, etc. I told her that's fine, but as long as we are on the same page, and I need a woman who's going to help me level up. She said, of course, but I just been thinking about it because it's kind of weird. Also, she does not have me on her social media of now. She does not have me on her social media as of now, and she did before. But when I had social media, I took her pic down. Now I don't have social media. But this definitely bothers me. How do I go about it? That's another story for another day. I didn't even realize that was in there, this piece. I'm gonna talk about that probably the next show. But also, I wanted to let you know I've been getting sex and head consistently from her since I've been applying the game, so thank you. But I'm mostly in my head 70% of the time thinking about how much I messed up in the past. Just saying. But thanks a lot, and my bad for the long paragraphs. By the way, she keeps saying she wants to be more independent and get a job and pay for her own stuff. So that was the highlight, right? And I asked his guy, did he do any of these things? And I told him to answer me truthfully. I gave him 4 questions. I asked him, does he have strict rules, right? He said no. I asked him, have you threw anything that you bought her? Did you throw that back in her face? He said yes. I asked him, have you mentioned to her how much you take care of her? He said yes, right? I asked him, does she have to wait on you to do something for her? He said no. So the first one, he don't have strict rules and she don't have to wait on him when she needs something. But he throws stuff in her face and he constantly reminds her of how much he takes care of him. He's making a mistake in being a provider. When you provide for people, you don't make them feel bad about it. That's a mistake that he'll probably never come back from. You see what I'm saying? I'll probably do a video or something on that more in depth, but that's just an example of mistakes that you can't come back from sometimes. You see what I'm saying? Unless maybe you reassure her that you're not going to make her feel like that, but what's done is done, bro. She didn't have a problem with being submissive to you until you made her feel bad about being submissive. Oh, I bought you this and I bought you that. That's what you're supposed to do if she's dedicating her life to helping you level up. You're supposed to give her what she needs. So don't throw it in her face. Don't nobody want to be made to feel like that. That's a mistake, a big mistake that a lot of guys make too, by the way, when they doing for their woman. You don't make them feel like that. You don't throw things in their face, right? You don't remind them how much you take care of her because she take care of your ass too. If she walked out your life right now, which is you scared right now, If she walked out your life right now, she providing you value, you wouldn't even know what to do with yourself. So don't play the game like that, bro. Oh, well, I do this for you. I do this for you. Now, if she ain't doing nothing for you and she just soaking up your resources, which she shouldn't be in the first place. But if that's the case, I understand you saying like, hey, like, look, man, I do X, Y, Z. So, don't come at me like that, or you got to do a little bit more, or what you doing ain't really enough. It ain't really adding up. That's understandable, but you don't want to make your woman feel like, less than or small, or feel guilty about you providing for her, especially when she's going out of her way to do this. Because, a lot of the times they feel like, you using that to control them. That's why I asked you, did you have strict rules? You see what I'm saying? I know exactly the questions to ask you when you tell me that, right? And a lot of the times they don't want you to feel like, they have to, you stringing them along and breadcrumbing them when they giving their whole life to you. So it's a way when you're going to provide and protect and all that, you have to do that in a way where you don't flex your muscle like that, especially when a person's doing their job, because that's what you're supposed to be doing, bro. That ain't no flex or no brag. You're supposed to look out for your kid's mother when she's dedicated her life and dedicated her womb to providing you legacy, bro. And she's doing what she need to do to see to it that you get to the top of the mountain. You're supposed to take care of her. You feel what I'm saying? So you probably ain't going to come back from that, bro. I'm not saying that that's going to be the end of your relationship, but it's probably going to take for her to go see that, I don't like working this whack ass job. And it's going to have to be, she going to have to be doing it, because if she finds something that she like to do and it make her happy, she probably will never go. You see what I'm saying? If it make her happy and she can contribute and she can, it ain't stressing her out. Let's say she found her purpose or something like that outside of you, which is, your game should be, her purpose is basically y'all's purpose, and her purpose should be, helping to build y'all empire, just like your purpose is helping to build y'all empire. You have to get your woman to see that. But if she finds something outside of that, it's probably over for you. She don't want to feel like that. She finds something that she's enjoyable with, and she's, you know what I'm saying? She enjoys, and it fulfills her, and it gives her life. It's over. Not it's over for the relationship, but you ain't gonna, how you been getting it, you ain't gonna get it like that no more. You're supposed to make your woman feel good about what she's doing for you. It gives her purpose and it gives her life. Your ass making her feel bad about it. You tripping. Again, if a woman is submissive to you and doing the things that you need her to do to help you get, y'all shit on par, or y'all help you build your empire and helping you with your legacy and providing you kids, it is your duty to take care of her. It's her job, your job. You're not supposed to make her feel bad about it. You're supposed to make her feel good about it so she can keep doing it. She don't want to do it no more. She wants to do her own thing now. And she ain't wrong. I would feel the same way. Just imagine every time you come home, she reminding you how much she cook and how much you should be appreciative and all that. You're going to be like, bitch, I can do this myself. You're going to make me feel bad about cooking for me and cleaning up for me? Bitch, that's what you're supposed to be doing. And as a man, that's what you're supposed to be doing when you got a woman doing what she need to be doing. You tripping, bro. But I said all that to say that you can't come back from everything, bro. That's just a perfect example. I wasn't even going to read. Well, I was going to read it in the beginning. You know how I usually eat some episodes. I read the emails and shit at the beginning, but I was going to read this at the beginning. I looked at my notes and said, it's probably going to take too long. So I chose not to, but here you have it. But anyway, fellas, that ends that for today. That's today's episode of the Captain Saver Bro Show. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Guys, I'm about to launch a coaching program pretty soon, within a couple weeks. Look out for that. But in the meantime, go to SaverBroAcademy.com. All your course needs. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at King Dreism, KingDreism. Follow me. Jump on the Patreon, the $5 tier and the $100 tier. Patreon.com/King Dreism. It's your gracious game advisor. Yours truly, King Dre. I'm gone.